She kept her eyes fixed on the counter, her hands trembling slightly as she scanned items one after another. To anyone else, it might have looked like just another busy shift at the grocery store. But Daniel, who had learned to notice the small things after years of raising his daughter alone, saw it immediately. The cashier's smile was forced, her voice cracked ever so slightly, and there was a heaviness in her eyes that no one else seemed to notice. "Paper or plastic?" she asked, her tone flat as she tried to mask her emotions. "Are you okay?" Daniel asked softly, surprising even himself with the question. Most people would have walked away, not wanting to intrude. But something about her broken composure hit him deeply. Her hands froze mid-scan, and for a moment, she just stood there, swallowing hard. Then she shook her head quickly and forced a smile. "I'm fine. Just tired." But Daniel knew that wasn't the truth. He had seen the same look in his own mirror too many times. When he had lost his wife, when he had to explain to his little girl why mommy wasn't coming home, when he worked double shifts just to make rent. Tired wasn't the word for it. It was pain. Over the next week, Daniel found himself in the same checkout line more than once. Each time, the cashier, whose name tag read Emily, had that same brave mask on her face. And each time, Daniel's gut told him she was carrying something heavier than she could handle. One evening, the store was nearly empty when Daniel and his daughter stopped by for groceries. Emily's hands were shaking so badly that she dropped a can of soup on the counter. Her face flushed with embarrassment as she quickly reached for it, but Daniel gently placed his hand on the can first. "You don't have to pretend," he said quietly. "Whatever it is, you don't have to carry it alone." Her eyes filled with tears before she could stop them. She turned her head away, ashamed, but Daniel didn't rush her. His daughter, Lily, only 9 years old, stood beside him and whispered, "Daddy, she's sad like you were." That was all it took. Emily broke down right there at the counter, whispering apologies as tears streamed down her face. The store was quiet, no customers around to see. Daniel didn't judge, didn't walk away, he just waited. Through broken words, Emily confessed that she was a single mom too. Her son was sick, medical bills were piling up, and she was terrified she wouldn't be able to keep their tiny apartment. She had been working double shifts, skipping meals, and putting on a smile because she thought that's what she had to do. Daniel's heart ached hearing her story, it was too familiar. The weight of the world crushing someone who was just trying to be strong for their child. He remembered those nights of desperation, counting coins, wondering how he'd stretch the week's groceries, wondering if he was enough. But instead of pity, he offered hope. "I know it feels impossible," he said, his voice steady. "But you're not alone anymore. Sometimes, letting someone care is the strongest thing you can do." From that day forward, Daniel and Emily's paths intertwined. He started helping her with small things, offering to watch her son when she had late shifts, introducing her to community resources he had once leaned on, even bringing over meals when she was too exhausted to cook. Emily, in turn, brought light back into Daniel's life. Her resilience reminded him of the strength he had built over the years. Slowly, both of them began to heal, not just from their struggles, but from the loneliness that had been eating away at them. Challenges didn't vanish overnight. Bills still came, sickness still struck, and the exhaustion of single parenthood didn't magically disappear. But now, they faced those hardships together. Daniel's daughter and Emily's son quickly bonded, and for the first time in a long time, their homes were filled with laughter. One evening, as the four of them sat around Daniel's small kitchen table sharing a simple meal, Emily looked across at him with tears in her eyes. "You could have walked away," she whispered. "You didn't have to care." Daniel smiled, glancing at his daughter who was giggling with Emily's son. "I know what it feels like to hide pain. Someone once told me the hardest part is letting people in. I couldn't walk away, not when I knew how much it mattered." The story of Daniel and Emily wasn't about sudden miracles or fairy tale endings. It was about compassion. About seeing the invisible struggles people carry and choosing to stand beside them. And in the end, it left a message worth remembering. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness, simply refusing to walk away, can change the course of someone's life forever.